Hi, I'm Mac McCarthy, and I help people with their breakups. And I'm honoring my schedule that is actually on Instagram, Coach Mac McCarthy. And tonight I'm going on at 7 p.m. Indo-China time. It's a different time than I usually go on my live streams. But people have actually told me, hey, can you do some different times so I can catch it if I'm in another place in the world? So giving this time frame a try, if you will. It's a little later than I usually do, and I'm more of a morning person than a night person, but let's give it a go. It's 7 p.m. I can deal with it if you can. So if you like this live stream, throw me a like. If you don't like it, that's just fine. If this actual one, I want you to maybe put in the comments if you don't catch it. Why won't my ex contact me? I'm going to go through about 10 to 12 different reasons, and please tell me in the comments below what reason would apply to your current breakup. Be honest about that. Or a past breakup. I'm going to unpack each one. But the reality is, why won't my ex contact me is not the question. The answers that I'm going to give, probably out of these 10 or 12, your answer is somewhere in there, and then you got to unpack it a little bit more. So if you want to subscribe, I will be having live streams all week this week, except for Thursday and Friday, but there will be also tomorrow, we will be having the great Jessica on, a female that's 31 years old from Canada, that's going to be discussing a breakup she had a couple years ago and fully unpacking it on the air. We've been friends for a while, and I haven't heard the whole story about the breakup, so some of it will be fresh to me. And last time she was on the live stream, a lot of people liked it. So that'll be tomorrow, 10:30 Indo-China time. So figure that out yourself. Type into Google 10:30 Indo-China time compared to where you're at in the world. Check it out. So why won't my ex contact me? Good question. Some people ask me this. Will they ever contact me again? Not the same question. Do you think my ex will contact me? Another way of framing it. Why won't my ex contact me? First, short answer to that, you probably know better than I do. But let's unpack this if you're being hard-headed or stubborn. Stephen Daniels, Kyle, how are you? I did this one for you guys that don't get to catch it because of the time zones. Let me know if this is good for you. Check out the Instagram, Coach Mac McCarthy. I've been posting a lot of stuff with Thailand. I'm going to have a lot of videos on the YouTube channel this month that are already on deck, that I'm on the beach. I'm doing some different things because people have asked about it. And I'm dedicated to scheduling times for live streams so you can fit it in your schedule. Kyle, I'd love to hear how you're doing, bud. Shoot me an email. Always, always good to hear from you. So let's get into this. Let's unpack this a bit. Why won't my ex contact me? Why won't my ex contact me? They have a problem with you. Someone said, oh, that seems pretty broad. No, it's true, because you did something wrong. You couldn't make it better, or you didn't want to change, and you think that maybe saying sorry is going to fix it. They have a problem with you, and somehow you don't think it's a problem. And problems can be many, many different things, but that's a specific reason why they're not contacting you. And if you know what that problem is, you have to ask yourself, can I fix the problem? Am I willing to fix the problem? Am I sorry about it? Or am I evading the fact that it's not even a problem? Next one, they can't forgive you. This is actually really, really big, because you, a lot of times, being the one that got broken up with, did something wrong, crossed the line, stole some money, said something rude to grandma. The list goes on. What's up, Leandra? The list goes on, right? And they just can't forgive you. And they're not going to forgive you. And that's the kind of person they are, okay? And so you breaking up and somehow calling them up and saying sorry or explaining yourself, especially if you've already done it, sorry doesn't get extra power a third, fourth, or fifth time. It actually gets annoying, and it actually gets weak and pitiful. So they can't forgive you, and you already said sorry, you explained yourself, you have to agree to disagree, move on, move forward, and let go for a bit. And if they are going to forgive you, and correct me if I'm wrong, there's people in your life, in my life, that I felt angst or upset with, and I've held shit. I'm human, right? They've crossed a boundary in my values, or they've gone too far, and I go, I'm never talking to them again in my head, or this or that. I actually usually don't use the word never, but you know what I mean. And then after a year, 6 months, you might run into that person, the smoke is cleared, and you just don't feel as strong of feelings. Now, if your ex won't forgive you now, the only possible way they probably will forgive you is to accept the fact that they're upset with you and let the smoke clear. All right, number 3. And please put in the comments down below if this one applies to you. I wrote, hey, but it's they. They miss you, but are too stubborn to call. Now, a lot of people believe this because they want to believe this. But this is quite possible that you're with an ex that had their reasons for breaking up with you that were strong, and they might have took a year to 6 months to break up with you. They miss you, but they're just too stubborn to call. They don't want to go back on their word. When they make a decision, they make a decision. There's people out there like that. I'll ask people sometimes, is she stubborn? Yes, she's so stubborn. Is she the type of person when she makes her decision, she doesn't go back on it? Oh, yes, absolutely. And this is the kind of person that probably will not contact you for a while just due to their own principles, not a personal thing. And these are the kind of people who give space. Next one, they are busy at work. Now, someone might go, really? I don't think they're that busy at work. People don't understand sometimes the difference. I don't think they fully understand that your job, my job, and everyone else out there, unless you've done someone else's job, you don't realize the level of strain or busyness or whatnot. And sometimes it's like recently, there's a few breakups. People were with doctors during COVID. Now, I've had 2 of these different situations. Bottom line, they worked at a hospital. They were scared. They were being called into these specific hospitals that were very busy at the time. And being a doctor came first to them. That's another part of they are busy at work. If in their hierarchy of values, which there's people out there, their job comes before their relationship, unfortunately, if you can't deal with that, it doesn't matter. And so sometimes they'll be like, oh, well, they say they're busy at work. What's their job? And then they go, well, they actually do work hard and take a lot of pride in their work. I think they're telling you the truth. So the fact that they're busy at work, you've broken up, they're not contacting you, you're just going to annoy the hell out of them. And if they have a break from work or they want to contact you, they will. Next, they want time alone. I want time alone to figure things out. I don't know what I want. I want to be single. I don't want to be single. You knocking at the door going, hey, are you ready yet to make that decision, is just going to make the decision faster for them that you're an annoying and pitiful individual that can't leave them alone when they say, hey, I need some time alone. I need to figure some things out. And sometimes this isn't just a case of someone wanting to give mixed signals. They need some time because someone in their family passed away. They need some time. I've heard this one a few times. Someone close to them, a family member or friend, got stage 4 cancer, and their life's changed and their values have changed, and they just need some time alone because the relationship that they have with you that was you 100%, they just can't give it to you any longer. These are examples of that. The other part of that is, here's another reason why your ex won't call you, and this is a big one. And it's actually Claudia Romero, how are you? From Argentina. That's a place I want to go to. I've actually had a couple clients from Argentina, 2. Buenos Aires, both of them. If you think about this for a minute, you break up with your ex, you don't like it, you're not happy with it, they care about you. They honestly care about you. It's not like, oh, they never cared about. No, they don't want to be with you anymore. They don't want to be intimate with you. They don't have those feelings any longer. So what? They don't contact you because they don't want to lead you on. The minute they call or talk to you, it's suddenly rose petals and wine glasses, and you're trying to flip the tables. And they don't want to put themselves in that position because you know why? It makes them feel guilty. And guilt is not something people are attracted to, period. You want to turn someone off from contacting you. It's like if they leave the conversation feeling guilty, and somehow some individuals feel they won because they framed someone up for being the bad guy. But the reality is, who wants to call back an ex that makes them feel bad about a breakup when they were being honest about not wanting to be with you? So sometimes they don't want to lead you on. They know that they're not going to be serious. They know that they don't want more than you want, and they don't want to lead you on. Can you accept that? It's actually a very caring move by an ex, because it's difficult for them too, because a lot of times they want to be there for you. Okay. Next, you aren't taking the breakup well and you seek pity. They feel guilty. So this coincides with what I just talked about. Somehow, some way, you've become a victim. They've become a bad guy, and you're looking for pity. Your job sucks. The list goes on. And somehow you think through pity and acting like a child or being immature is somehow going to reattract them. Does it work? Sometimes. In most cases, when that happens, it's not mean you're going to get back together, but it's not a very strong ground to have a relationship that someone feels sorry for you, right? And when someone feels sorry for you, they almost feel guilty. It's just a bad blend of emotions to get back into a relationship. And so if they feel like you're looking for pity, they'll have an end game with that, and they just won't contact you. You hate their family and friends whom they live with. This is actually a big one. They've moved out. They have a new roommate. They're living with their sister or brother. They're living with their parents. Happens a lot. People in their 30s, people in their 40s moving with their parents after breakups. And you've always hated this friend or family member. They're probably not going to call you because they don't want to hear shit about who they're living with or their situation just because you don't like them or you blame them. So that's a big one. This is a big one. So has any of these caught your eye? Anyone on the live stream so far? What's up, oh Johnny? Has any of these caught your eye and go, oh shit, that was what happened in my breakup? Is there one that you can identify? Or if there's one I'm not saying. But this is a big one. And this is one that I'll actually, what's up, Tommy Willis? This is one that happens a lot, and this is a result of a lot of people calling me up for breakup coaching. At the end of the breakup, you made a traumatic scene or a series of scenes of desperation. And actually, the crazy thing, I think it happens more with men. Men panic. They can't believe it happened. They take it personal. It's an ego chuck, and they go nuts. And they call off the hook. They show up at the doorstep. They beg. They plead. They puff. They blow. And they go crazy. And then the person goes, wow, I'm actually scared of you as an individual to be around you. And you go to yourself, what the? I don't even know this person because the way you acted during that last breakup scene is not who you are. So in those particular cases, you need to let the smoke clear. You need to release from that person because for some reason you just can't handle the breakup at all. You're highly emotional and you're going to say some shit that you don't want to say. If that happens, you should give yourself at least 3 weeks to a month to 6 weeks to 8 weeks. And if you said some really fucked up shit, you might want to just send an email and say, I just want to let you know I was way out of line. I just want to let you know I was way out of line. That's not who I am. That's a time when you can send a final email or something like that. Just accepting the breakup and letting them know I was out of line. I apologize for that. I understand that you've been overworked and I understand your reasons for the breakup. Me calling you a hoe wasn't my intention. It's not how I feel about you. It was heat of the moment. Something like that. All right. You blame them and excuse them. And excuse them. I'm sorry. You blame them. Let's just go into blame. Anything that you suddenly play this blame game, and you might have friends and family members like this that never take accountability or responsibility for anything in their life, and you have an ex and they somehow think they didn't do anything wrong, that it doesn't take two to tango in a breakup, and all they do is just chuck breakup spears your way and go fishing for ways to hurt you and blame you. If that's the case, they probably won't contact you. You just can't accept their reasons for the breakup. And if that's the case, they're not going to contact you. They finally broke free, no looking back. The reason why I put this one in is sometimes people are with you. They're accepting of your ways. And I've had people in coaching sessions, they let themselves go. They're complaining about their life as individuals, their job, their health. And they're smoking 2 packs of cigarettes. They're not being accountable. They're not being accountable for the fact that they let themselves go and they stopped being a value in the eyes of their partner. And their partner actually stayed with them for a year, 2 years, 6 months too long. And when they finally were able to break free, there's no looking back. And you know that you saw the signals that they were saying, hey, you know what? Maybe you can start going to the gym. Hey, you know what? If you really hate your job, why don't you start looking for a new one? And you're like, no, I'll just be miserable. I'll complain. I'll have a 6-pack and a pizza 5 days a week, and the list goes on, right? These are the kind of people, then they break up and they're like, oh my God, what happened? I can't believe it. Well, they've been giving you hints and signals for a year to a month. And now that it went down, they're not gonna try to come back because they finally broke free. And the final one, if someone goes, I'm done, I just want this one. I know it's a simple statement. Someone goes, I'm done. That's a definitive identity statement as a human being that most people will stick with for a certain time being, if not for a long time. It's them saying, I've had enough. I don't think things are going to change. And I'm digging in. And so if someone says they're done, give them the space and time they need and leave them alone. Because those are the kind of people that are going to pivot really quick into blocking your number and saying, basically, the door is not open. We are done. And sometimes people are just not seeing that, right? Now, there was one other one that I didn't put up here. They're with someone else. The amount of people I get, well, they got a new partner, they got a new boyfriend, the guy's an idiot, they got a new girlfriend, she's an ex-convict, the list goes on, and you go to yourself, why do you even know about this? They're with someone else. They're not going to contact you while they're with someone else. And then maybe 3 or 4 months later, wow, they contacted me, okay? They definitely aren't going to contact you because you've built a case about what an idiot their new partner is. There's people just all the time, I can't believe they're with so-and-so. This guy's, he's a narcissist. He's this, he's selfish, he's that. So what? That's what you think from your biased opinion. But the reality is you got to let go, accept, and move on. And the best place to be at the end of the day, the best place to be if you're breaking up is to find a way to accept the breakup, find a way to frame the breakup in a way that you are going to grow from it and that you are somehow going to embrace the fact that you are single again and you have the ability to maneuver and do whatever you fucking want. That's power. And a lot of times you're thinking to yourself, you can't embrace that at first. I get it. But once you do, it is surreal. And it starts with you figuring out what would be something I could do that excites me, that makes me tick, that's a goal, a dream, whatever, that I probably wouldn't do if I would have had my anchor of a girlfriend or boyfriend. Think about that for a moment. So I'll get into the live stream now. Let me know if there's anything I missed as far as maybe in your own relationship. I'll circle back to this. Why won't my ex contact me? Any other reasons you guys want to throw up there, please put them out there. We got 8 people on deck and 3 likes. I appreciate it. Go to Instagram, Coach Mac McCarthy, for the schedule. And like I said, tomorrow, 10:30 Indo-China time, I will have the fabulous Jessica on, and we will be interviewing her about her individual breakup, which is going to be a pretty good one, I think. Okay, so it's almost going to be like live coaching. Leandra, greetings, like I said. Claudia, greetings. Sub, Johnny, Tommy. Bogdan Urban, should I keep in contact with my ex's mom? That's a judgment call for your end. As long as you're not doing it with the hopes and wishes of somehow making yourself look like a good guy and gaining brownie points with your ex. If you had a really good here's my thing. Anytime you have an ex's parents or friends and you had a good relationship with them, I still think if you're not happy with the breakup, you should stay out of contact with them just for a little while. Not forever. It doesn't mean you're angry at them. But the reality is you're probably going to somehow manipulate yourself into pleading your case to the mom or dad if you want them back. And it makes you look like an ass. Because the mom and dad, 99% of the time, 95% of the time, they're going to tell your ex what happened, even if they like you. And your ex is going to be pissed that you went to their parents. So if anything, I would give that a break if you're not happy with the breakup. Does that answer your question, Bogdan? Sabina, what's up? How you doing? Working on the website. It's a work in progress right now. I love that you're interested in also doing some coaching. I will follow up with you. Just give me a few days. It's a work in progress, but I will definitely get you on the coaching tip. So as some of you know out there, writemac.com, my website has been completely changed, and I'm working towards creating a profile system where not everyone and anyone, I would have to approve them, could become an independent breakup coach. Obviously, I wouldn't just let anyone out there do it, but I'm pretty excited about it, and I think it's something that G-Money, looking for you in the daylight with a flashlight. So yes, that's going to be on deck. A lot of you out there maybe want to get your feet wet with something like that, and you think you could listen to a person about their breakup and unpack a story, the base of it is going to be what I do basically, and getting a story from some individual and helping them unpack it, being there for them, being a good listener and giving back good input. I think I'm good at it. I think other people can be good at it. And I like the perspective of people having the option to not to go to someone that's some PhD, master's degree individual that helps all kinds of people. I like the idea of someone that just wants to help people with breakups. And so I think it's going to work out really, really well. I was flawed by my ex's behavior. His desperation scared the crap out of me. When realize you lose or have no control over your partner or situation, it can make you crazy. And honestly, Leandra, you got to ask yourself in those situations, it's really tough. Where is my power as an individual? I don't want to feel, because so for example, if someone's desperate, it's scary that they want you back. What limits would they go to? It also puts you in a situation of guilt, which also is a very bad feeling to carry around as a human being, that it affects all of your life. When you realize you lose or you have no control over your partner or situation, it can make you crazy. The reality to that, Leandra, is you have more control than you think. It's just when you're in the middle of the breakup, there's so many emotions swirling, and you usually circle back to the ones that hurt you or hurt your partner less, depending on how your values are. But the reality is you do have some power, because you can walk away at any given moment, but then you're going to feel that guilt, and that's what you got to be upfront with. G Money, how you been? Life experiences, hey? Life experiences are seriously underrated. So the live stream's open up to questions. Anyone have any questions about why your ex won't contact you, or a situation in your past where you broke up with an ex and you thought to yourself, are they ever going to contact me? Why won't they contact me? So what I'm going to do right now, I'm going to go through those reasons that I had written down that are possibilities of why your ex won't contact you or isn't contacting you. And I'll think back to some of my breakups in my life, 3 significant ones. And I only had, to be honest, I only had one that was the one that I felt at the time, not now, was very painful and tough on me at the time. And I thought to myself, are we ever going to, because we went straight no contact right after the breakup. And I was thinking to myself, I never thought, why won't my ex contact me? Because I already knew. And the one that would apply to me is too stubborn and wouldn't want to go back on their word. And that was someone that's stubborn, and they don't want to go back on their word. They're actually, a lot of them are very high achievers. They do well because they make a decision, they make a move, they make action-based decisions. And so they stick with something. And I knew that was the kind of person she was, and we weren't breaking up regularly. So this breakup was pretty serious, and I didn't make a big traumatic scene, but I wasn't happy with it. I wasn't happy with her and her behavior as an individual. And we were going in different directions, and I knew that. So I kind of accepted the fact that she would be fully capable of not contacting me, even though I believe I had friends run into her and whatnot and tell me that she did say that she missed me, but she didn't want to contact me or anything like that. And I think also one would apply that she knew that I wanted to stay in the relationship probably more and on my terms, and that calling me or getting into a conversation would probably lead me to believe that we were going to get back together when that wasn't the case. And so I'm thankful that we both stayed no contact. They don't let their emotions rule. Steadfast. She missed me. She wants you to hit her first. Oh, okay. Yeah, that's definitely one. I think that would fall in. Azam, good to hear from you, bud. It's been a while. Finally got the IG up, buddy. I know you were recommending that for a while. She missed me. She wants you to hit her up first. Wouldn't that go under stubbornness? I mean, as a subfield, absolutely. Yeah, I don't want to be the first one to blink. It's a standoff. If you and the funny thing about that, when you contact her first, she's gonna feel vindicated and validated and feel like, okay, I knew he missed me, and so it's a standoff. And she wants to feel like, yeah, you miss her first, and or he or she feels like you're really still upset with them. Well, she will get more than a kick out of it. She'll feel good. I mean, whoever blinks first and you haven't been in contact with an ex, you're like, oh, nice to hear from you. Like, you know that that individual's been thinking about you. But it won't lead to a healthy makeup. I don't think so either. A healthy makeup resolves the problem. It's like, for example, if you break up and it's over a long distance relationship and it is the distance and you're able to move to their city within 2 weeks to a month, well, then you could probably get back together because you can fix the problem. You know, things like you share an apartment and you have a kid together and you can't hold down a job because you have a drinking problem. And then you're wondering, like, why can't you give me another chance? It's like, no, this is when people are like, no, I'm done. Right. And the fact that someone goes, well, I'll stop drinking now and I'll find a job now. Well, you haven't done it for 6 months. You've already made a case for who you are and what you do. And I can't accept that you're going to change that quickly. That's the reality, right? So we got 26 minutes so far. Does anyone have any other questions or stories that you want to touch on? We got 10 on deck, a new crowd than usual at the mornings sometimes. Is there a topic coming up on the next live stream that someone wants me to touch on? Or maybe we can even dig into it today, because this seems to have gone a little bit stale after I've mentioned these topics. Let me take a look up here. Yep. Break up to make up. These days, they don't come back because they probably found someone else quickly. I mean, that actually is the elephant in the room, the lion in the room for a lot of people, because online dating makes it easy, especially, well, here's the thing too. Surprise, surprise. I just did a video on this. I haven't put it out there yet. It's a beach video, but the reality is, if you ask me about my experience in doing breakup coaching and talking to a lot of people about their different breakups, I can identify a lot of times. I'm like, this person's not going to be single long. Oh, it's not monkey branching. It's not rebound. It's the fact that they're a high value individual. They have a good job. They're confident. They take care of themselves. They're healthy. They have a pretty good grasp of attraction and things like that. So they'll come to me and they'll literally just really want to unpack the breakup and what went down and the solution mindset. And they'll just want to know, like, am I looking at this wrong? Or did I see this wrong? They want to get my opinion on that. And sometimes people come to me and it's just a reassurance that, like, yeah, you did the right thing, or yeah, this wasn't going to work, or yeah, it was this. And then they can move on and move forward. With a month or 2 months, some of these individuals are in new relationships because people are lined up to be with them, right? And that's the whole point. If you're out of a breakup and you're treading water and you feel like, oh my God, I can't live without this person, then you need to get stronger. You need to get stronger as an individual human being, lick your wounds, deal with the breakup, unpack the whole thing, figure out what went wrong, what was your fault, what was their fault, where you're taking responsibility, where you're at as an individual right now. And then when you get to that situation, start working on yourself. Start working towards what you want to work on. And if you get to a certain level, you won't be in that position again where if you break up, you're like, oh my God, how am I going to pull another high quality individual like this? How can I ever find someone this great? The reality is, you need to be great. You need to be a high-level catch. Me and my ex broke up last week because she said that I'm better than her and she doesn't want to hurt me anymore because she is stressed out and she is going to university and has had some problems at home. In this period, I was a little clingy, and that maybe made her lose attraction, and that's why she doesn't want to work on things. Okay, bottom line, Bogdan Urban. A lot of times when you're in university, I'm just going to guess you're in your early 20s to mid 20s. You're in a relationship that's probably your first or second serious relationship, with this one being the most hot and heavy. right? I'm sure you had a lot of good intimacy in that relationship. Um, the reality is, university relationships are ones that are usually not your final relationship in the 21st century. I've said that before. It makes a lot of sense. The people get curious. They do not want to go away to their university in the middle of a long distance relationship because they're actually sacrificing a lot in the intimacy, affection, connection department of their life. And you might be going, well, I'm fine with it. Well, they're not. And it's not personal, it's circumstances. Now, when someone says, she said that I'm better than her, that can be interpreted in a lot of different ways. That's her not trying to hurt your feelings. That's her maybe saying she did something bad that she feels guilty about. But the other one, she doesn't want to hurt me, means that she feels pity for you, which is not attractive. It's caring, but it doesn't line up with her being attracted to you because she is stressed out and she's going to university and had some problems. Translation: right now, university and some of my other problems are more important on the hierarchy of my life than you are. I'm sorry if that hurts your feelings. Does that make sense? In this period, I was a little clingy, and that maybe made her lose attraction. It absolutely made her lose attraction, but the reality is if she was going to university and had problems at her home, she still might have broke up with you even if you weren't clingy. That's why she doesn't want to work on things. If someone wants to break up with you, they have definitive reasons, like they're going away to fucking university and they had some problems. I'm sorry, because this is where you're not listening. The best reaction you can say is, okay, I understand you're going away to university. I understand some of these problems that you have at home, and you gotta have a think about them. I appreciate the relationship we had, and I don't feel good about it, but I accept it. That would be great. Instead of like, let's just work on things. Listen, she has some problems at home. How does that correlate with working on things? You're not going to fix those problems at home. She's going to university. Hey, we got to work on things. What are you going to change about the fact that she's going away to university? So these are things that you're not going to work on and make better. Does that make sense? You see how you're not listening to the problems? You're like, well, maybe if I call you every night, that'll be better. No, actually, that's counterintuitive. Is that typical? It's me, it's not you. It's me, it's not you is someone that cares about you, and it's a personality trait as far as I don't want to hurt someone's feelings. I'm a caring individual. I have compassion for them, so I'm going to lay a pillow down for them to break up on. And they're also saying, I don't really think you're a bad person. You're not a bad boyfriend. You're not a bad girlfriend, but it's me. I've changed. I look at the world differently. People pick the path that leads to resistance. Working on issues requires more work and effort than just leaving. Well, people have different reasons for leaving. And other people look at it like, why would you leave that way? Because they look at the world differently. Right? There's people out there that go, oh, you can go away to university and I'll call you every night. We can see each other once every 2 months. I'm fine with that. She's not. Oh, you can go away to university and still get good grades and we can still be connected and whatnot. She doesn't believe that. She has problems at home. Oh, I can be there for you and help you with those problems at home. No, you can't. You don't understand because you've never dealt with the problems that I have at home. You see what I'm saying? And so people just keep going into a brick wall. The reality is the strongest place to be is to go, okay, you're right. I've never faced an alcoholic parent before. I really don't know how to handle it. I want to be there for you, but I understand if you need some time to work this through. Right? You know what was interesting? I just was on Instagram. I follow Mark Manson and I followed Coach Corey Wayne. Right, so full disclosure, I am a dinosaur when it comes to Instagram. I just started the Instagram account and I've just started posting sunsets in Thailand and different things at the beach because pictures are something that's the main hit on that thing. And basically, the beach and sunsets never get old. That's one of the reasons I live here. But Mark Manson wrote something to the effect of more people get divorces because they lost friendship than love. And I just don't agree with that. I I was like, friendship and love are two different things. Um, I think that most people get divorces because their values change. You both no longer value things in the same hierarchy. That's the biggest reason a lot of people break up. I used to like to go out to concerts and Friday night dinner, and now I've decided I'm going to be a vegan, and I hate crowds. And you're like, what happened? Well, I just got older, or that's just not my thing anymore. These are the things that pull people apart. I think it's the opposite. People become too friendly and lose the attraction. When I saw that's an interesting point, G Money. I see where you're coming from. Yeah, I think that what happens in a marriage is you're wearing so many hats. You're almost a Swiss Army knife of companion. If you get married, we share our finances. That's why a big reason why you get married, right? You share finances. You share cleaning duties in the house. You share parenting, probably. You share family members. So you have all these different things that you do together that involve acting in different ways. And where does intimacy, love, and attraction fall in? It usually gets left off at some point. This is my friend; they would never leave me, so I don't have to worry about being attracted. Good one. Good one. Why do people in long-term relationships start living in their sweatpants? It was so funny to read. I think I've talked about this at a live coaching session. This guy goes, I would just like her to dress a little bit nicer. That was one. I was like, really? It's a big issue how she dresses. And he goes, well, and she had a professional high-end job, like a prestigious job. And he's like, and I'm like, so you want her to dress sexier or more upscale? And he goes, I just like her to wear jeans. I was like, what do you mean? He goes, every time she's off, she wears sweatpants and a t-shirt to the coffee shop. I'm like, oh, whoa, okay. That's not too much to ask someone to dress up a little bit. She said that she doesn't remember a time where she was truly happy in our 1.5 year relationship. Okay, so if that's the case, you can't change that. In 1.5 years, if that's how she really feels, you're not going to turn that around by, becoming Ronnie Romance and somehow figuring out the way to reattract a woman. If it's 1.5 years, you're better off meeting a new woman, being a new you, studying some attraction tips, but you're not going to change her mind because for 1.5 years, she feels that way about you. She said that it wasn't the relationship she wanted and still tried to work on things. So she's saying that she gave it a shot, but for 1.5 years, she wasn't happy. You need to accept that and move on. What can I do to get her back? Accept the breakup, show her that you're a high value individual, show her that you can attract other women and therefore possibly look valuable again in her eyes. But counterintuitive would be to knock on her door and ask her questions why she left you. Counterintuitive would be like you trying one of these methods where they say that you send her a message about some fucking pizza shop or beach you guys used to hang out with, and she's somehow going to get a big. She's basically saying, I've been wanting to break up for a while. I'm not happy. And so if she was going to change her mind, it wouldn't be because of something you did. It wouldn't be an individual action. Sounds like she was expecting you to make her happy, but her being happy is up to her. You can't change how she feels. Only she can. People have control over their emotions. They do, G Money. They do, but I mean, tell me this, G Money. I know where you're coming from, and I'm glad to have you back on the channel and the show. It's been a while, but I always like your takes. But how about if I play a little devil's advocate on this? Is that you're right. People are responsible for being happy for themselves, but there are some individuals that will piss on your happiness if you allow them. There are some individuals out there that you have a friend hangover from, or you hang out with them, or you're out with them long periods of time. You're in a good mood. You're uppity. Something went well at work, or, you just came back from a family member's birthday party, whatever. And then you come in contact with your current partner who's in a bad place, or it's just a negative individual. Yeah, they can affect your happiness. And you can say, well, we just need to work on it. I've actually been in a relationship like that before. And you do try to work on it. But when someone's negative, it's usually something outside the relationship, but it absolutely will affect the relationship they have with you, and it will affect your happiness because you're literally sharing, you're sharing time with a partner that's offsetting happy moments for you. So your power in that situation is what she did. She said, "Look, I'm not happy. It's not necessarily just because of you, but you're a part and your outlook on life or your habits of being around you uh, don't contribute to a lot of happiness on my end or enrich my life or help me grow." So I do, like I said, I do think that you need to make yourself happy, but a relationship with a negative individual, that's a pretty broad statement, but you know what I mean. Especially people that, tell me if I'm wrong. There's just people out there that are constantly negative, or they have a vice, like not a vice, but a thing where every time you spend money, they got to be like, "Oh, you overspent," or every time you get good news, they got to knock you down because they're jealous. These are the kind of people that can impede on your happiness, and you can somehow overlook it. You can somehow work on it, but then you break free from individuals like this, and you go, "Oh my God, I should have done this a long time ago because I feel so loose and happy right now because I'm not trying to please an individual." The reality is that that individual is just going to be that way because that's how they look at the world. We got 12 on deck and 4 likes. Please feel free to ask any questions or make any comments. The live stream is wide open right now. The topic earlier today was why won't my ex contact me? And I went through them. They have a problem with you. They can't forgive you. Hey, I miss you, but they miss you, but they're too stubborn to call. They're busy at work. They want time alone. They don't want to lead you on. I think that that's a big one that people aren't being honest with themselves. They really don't want to lead you on. You aren't the breakup. You aren't taking the breakup well, and you seek pity. They feel guilty. This is a reason they won't call you. You hate their family and friends whom they live with. At the end of the breakup, you made a traumatic scene of desperation. You blame them and excuse them. You just accept their reasons for the breakup. They finally broke free, no looking back. They declare at the end of the breakup, they're done. They told you that. So these are all reasons why someone won't call you back. And whenever it's just Bogdan, welcome, or Bogdan, maybe I'm saying it completely wrong. Maybe it's Bogdan. I apologize. What nationality is that? What can I do to get her back? Whenever you're asking yourself that question, it is a bit needy. It is a bit weak. And the reality is you should flip the question and go, when can I get myself back on deck to a situation where I'm strong, confident again, and I believe that I can find an individual that's equal or higher value to that ex that I had? That's where you really want to be. And that's where if your ex wanted to come back and they somehow ran into you or ran into someone that knew you, would be reattracted to you. But you somehow trying to find a way to get them back is actually most of the time not going to work because you're going against the grain and you're going to come off weak, needy, emotional, and annoying. It's like they told you this. Some of the times people just don't take no for an answer and just keep trying. It's just you keep digging and digging and digging a bigger hole. And at some point you have to accept it. And the word that comes to mind to me is dignity. Like have some dignity. Like when you're in a breakup, I've been there before, I've been hurting before, but have some dignity. Have some pride. It's better to get angry and move on over a breakup than to get all sad and needy. You know what? A friend of mine, when I was going through my situation, he asked me, I remember he's like, when are you going to start getting angry? Like, what do you mean? It's like there's just a phase where you get angry, and that's one of the phases that actually leads to when you're done. And sometimes it takes you a couple months to get to that phase. It just depends on how your breakup went down. But G Money, I think you're right. If you get angry, depending on the type of person you are, because some people that get angry like to stay angry. Some individuals, once they get angry, they don't want to stay angry. And it's kind of like a siren in their emotions to be like, you know what, I'm done with this because I don't like being this way. I'm one of those people. I don't like getting angry. Can I get angry? Yeah, I'm human. But it's not one of those things that I'm comfortable being in that situation long term. Some people, like I said, it's part of their makeup, it's part of their personality. So to be all sad and needy is probably the worst thing. The only way someone takes you back for neediness is if they want to use you. If they think that you can serve a purpose for them, that it's usually highly selfish. Individuals that find you needy and weak and do not contact you are saying, like, I'm not doing you any favors because I do not want to lead you on. Your ex might not have been happy. They might have had some bad circumstances going on, but they left. They abandoned you. Screw them and find another one. That's not a bad way to look at it. G Money, may I ask how your current relationship's going? I know you were in one on previous live streams. Got personal, sorry. But I haven't seen you in a while. So I'm thinking this might be assumptions that it's going pretty good because you're a good dude, and sometimes no news is good news. $13 on deck, 5 likes, new time frame. Anyone want to ask a question about your current breakup? I will go another 15 minutes to round it out at an hour. So go ahead and type them in. If you got a question about something else, going good, Max. Smooth sailing. One thing on my mind is how you cope with thinking this is a last person I'll ever sleep with if we stay together. That's a really good question. No, it doesn't sound greedy. It's very human. And I think aren't you in your mid 20s? I want to say you're 23 to 25. You're into martial arts. You got a good head on your shoulder, history degree, Ohio legend. Tell me where I'm wrong, right? You're working towards towards winning some tournament in martial arts, right? You got shit going for you right now. You got value. You understand attraction. So of course you're gonna think to yourself, is this the final rodeo? Fuck, dude. I remember. I had a great girlfriend in my the one that I've talked about, the bad breakup. A fantastic girlfriend, treated me very well, good looking, sweet, close to the family. A lot of things went right, and I would, between the ages of 23 and 28, all it would take was me going out with a group of friends for some drinks, and you go, wow, it would be nice to be single. That's very, very human, especially in your 20s, dude. So the idea that you want to go around and spread seed and maybe sleep around for sport is not uncommon. The reality is it's a battle for a lot of people, and it's a choice. And the funny thing about that is there's a lot of women that feel the same way. And I would say that women in their 20s are more likely to be honest about it, or a little bit passively honest about it, and they want to see what it's like to date someone else. The amount of women I've met, like, oh, my college sweetheart, or this guy I was with from 23 to 28, and they'll be like, it was a great relationship, and it was basically like it ran its course, and I didn't think that this would be the only person. They go, looking back, that was the best relationship I had. So I think in your 20s, yeah, it's completely natural, and it's something that you'll battle off and on, and it's triggered usually, G Money, by the environments and the friends you're around. So if you're in environments that have a lot of hot women that are available, that are hitting on you, or if you're around a lot of single friends, then you're more likely to feel that way. If you hang out with a group of buddies that all have girlfriends and stuff like that, then you're more likely to feel less inclined. Does that make sense? So now whenever she makes small mistakes, I just wonder, should I be getting better than this? Like, I'm just trying to find faults? That's a really good question. I know exactly what you mean. I think it's a natural question. I think it's something you got to battle. And it's individually what you find to be a fault would be different than me. That's the crazy thing. That's why I always need to tell everyone, can you write your story? Because there's, something that I find to be a fault would not be a fault to someone else, right? So you go to a friend, you're like, I can't believe she did that. So you need to figure out if you're being honest with yourself about the idea that maybe you're not ready. Like, there's a guy that I recently had in a live coaching session that his girlfriend at 23 years old, because of their religions and cultures, was like ultimatum, kneecaps, gun to the head. When I say gun to the head, it's like, we need to get married or I'm breaking up with you. And she broke up with him. And he said for like a year and a half, he was like, I'm not ready. I'm not ready. I'm like, dude, you're 23. You weren't ready. Well, I would do it now. I'm like, no, you don't want to get married at 23. That's a good thing. A lot of people would say you made the right move. And you definitely don't want to get married, right? Correct me if I'm wrong out there. When you're not ready. I mean, to be honest, I think marriage is one of those things that if you're going to have kids, okay. Otherwise, good luck. The statistics don't line up the way the world's lined up right now with all the information and the dating apps. It's going to be difficult. And so at some point, if G Money goes, you know what, I want to travel the world some more, I'm hitting up these environments, you don't want to make what you don't want to do is, if your girlfriend's not a bad girlfriend or a bad person, you don't want to create a situation where you're making them the bad guy just because you want to be single. But that's what a lot of women do, guys. They're like, what? I didn't think I did this wrong. In reality, she just wanted to be single again. And that's related to hanging out with single friends, being in single environments, or being at your ultimate value in your life and getting attention from other attractive women. And what are you going to do? It's like, why do all these celebrities and superstars always cheat? Because they have more opportunities and options. And, it's like a fat kid that opens up the fridge and there's 18 pieces of cake. They're not going to go, oh, yeah, I'm on a diet, I can only have one. Okay? It's the same thing. So it's very human. My ex lives with her ex-husband. Philip Carlson, welcome. My ex lives with her ex-husband. Okay. Once you say that, I would not contact them anymore. And they're supposed to be friends. But him and their 26-year-old son made her break up with me. What do I do? Well, first of all, that is an interpretation that is very favorable to you, and it's victim-based. And if the idea that someone made your ex break up with you, why do you want to be with a weak individual that's influenced by their ex to break up with you? Why would you want someone like that back? To me, don't get me wrong, it hurts. And the reality, if someone's going to be coaxed into breaking up with me, okay, you were together 5 years. So what did they do that made her break up with you? And the idea that they're supposed to be friends, is that what you were told but don't believe? If you think about sleeping with others, then she is not the one. First of all, what would be the interpretation of the one? Someone you're going to marry? Okay. The idea that you as a young male don't think about sleeping with other women that are attractive that you come into contact with, I don't see that as realistic. I've never been in a situation, and I've had the girlfriends I've been with, I'm highly attracted to them. I think they're good catches. I'm proud to be with them. And yeah, if I'm at a dinner spot or somewhere out and I see an attractive woman, yeah, I've had thoughts in my head of going, wow, that would be nice to hook up with her. And I don't think for a minute, oh, why'd you think that? You're disrespecting your girlfriend. You're emotionally cheating. No, I'm human. I'm being honest, right? Well, be more vulnerable and honest. You want me to tell you the truth? That girl in the corner is smoking hot. Sabina, the difference is all guys think about other women, but acting on it is another thing completely. Yeah, it's just like you're always going to take a look at the menu, but you got a choice about ordering or not ordering. You got a choice about going to the same restaurant every day, which would be your girlfriend. We were together 5 years. Told her they would never talk to her again. Okay, we were engaged. Her son is. Still, how does this work out, Philip, in your head that she was somehow made to break up with you? What happened that you believe that was what's happened? It's possible, but I would need more substance to the story, because if that's the case and my ex is manipulated by someone that's an ex of theirs or a son of theirs, here's the thing. Even if you pull that individual back or somehow they realize that they were manipulated, that just tells me that they are gullible and that they're an individual that's not strong enough to stick with their feelings. Or she gave you some kind of narrative um, that was complete bullshit so that she didn't look so bad. You text your girlfriend of 5 years, what are you wearing? Somehow her ex, that's supposed to be her friend that she lives with, and her 26-year-old son have a fit. Okay, so she had a choice of showing them that, which was, I don't know what else to say, but stupid. Um, I mean, again, different relationships value different things. Did she have a problem with you texting her that? Did she think that was over the top? I mean, there are some women out there that are very sensitive to texting them certain words. Um, Her mom likes me a lot and still wants us to be together, invited me to talk about what happened because she sees the change in her behavior, like not talking to nobody, staying in her room, losing weight. Dude, if you go to the mom and try to somehow have an intervention with her and be like, well, her mom likes me, so we're gonna both have a chat with her because she's not doing good things. She will, I, she'll be done with you. Don't. She'll be done with you. You're gonna go. It's like telling someone's mom on them, and the reality, like, does she believe that her behavior is not good right now, or is that something you've come up with yourself? And people, I mean, if you're in university and you're young, people change. Friends, environments, jobs, schools, they change, and then all of a sudden everyone goes, "Oh, they have a real problem." Well, the way they're changing just doesn't line up with you, but that doesn't mean that you're gonna go, "Hey, this change is really bad." It's kind of like going up to someone and saying, "I really don't like your clothes," and they go, "Well, you're not wearing them, idiot." If she's willing to give you up because of what someone else says, then her attraction for you isn't that high. Thank you, G Money. I text her, what are you wearing? They flipped out. I mean, like I said, there's certain things. I'm a sarcastic individual. I like to joke around. There's certain things that I might say that might offend a certain kind of female out there, right? I don't want to be with someone that's that sensitive, nor that shares that kind of shit with someone that might be offended by it. If you send a text like that and that's completely in your personality and playfulness and the way you guys talk with each other in the past, and somehow by her sharing that with some other individuals, it somehow makes her break up with you, good riddance. Rob would say those are beta guys when they just talk and never sleep with the other attractive girls. I think it's normal to be attracted to other people while you're in a relationship. I agree. I just, the idea that people find emotional cheating, that someone has feelings or has attraction to another individual that they work with, but they don't act on it. I think that's very common. And so, yeah, it doesn't mean you want to stray. It's just human nature. Exactly my point, Leandra. I agree 100%. Bro, she lives with her ex. G Money, she lives with her ex-husband, but they're friends. No, we flirt all the time. The husband picked up the phone and read it. You're not even calling the ex-husband. So what's the purpose of her living with her ex-husband? To take care of the 26-year-old son, and the 26-year-old son lives at home? That's a nice package deal you got to deal with. You know, some individuals out there, I've talked about this before, that end up staying at home till their 30s. They, I understand that it's more expensive now, and there's even a lot of cultures out there that you can live at home forever and whatnot. But at least by the time you're 25, 30, you should have at least done a time of a year or 2 years living in an apartment, getting some roommates, finding a way to be out on your own. That's just that. I just think that if you want to become a mature individual, but if you stay at your home, or you live off your sister, or you live off a family member, what I mean by live off them is you live at the house and whatnot. It's okay. I'm not judging you. You can still be a good individual, a good family member. And I've lived with family when I was in my mid 20s. I lived with my sister, my niece, and my nephew, and my mom lived in the house part time. So it's fine. It can definitely work. You do need moments where you actually live on your own. I think the best thing I ever did was at about 19 years old, moved down to San Diego on a whim moved out. My dad started charging me rent. I ended up living out there for 4 years, lived on my own, had my own apartments, then had roommates. It was absolutely a major growth phase in my life. If I would have somehow, I don't think I would have stayed home because dad wouldn't have had it. Um, you need to experience living out on your own. But grown kids that live with their parents and they're your partners, they could be problems. 26-year-old still in the house, he's not going to like that you're competing for attention with his mom that he still lives with. Okay. He had an accident, shot himself hunting, can't work. The husband called him and told him so the son would bitch at her. Oh, this story came in before. I think I've talked about this story in a he had an accident, shot himself hunting, can't work. The husband called him and told him so the son would bitch at her. This is one of those things that's unfortunate. A hunting accident is a kind of a freak thing, but it's real, and you're not going to change the circumstances. And you got to say to yourself, well, this isn't fair. What you're doing now, this isn't fair. This isn't right. It's reality. You accept what you want to accept or don't accept it. I don't think you're going to change the circumstances. If I remember this correctly, you sent this in before, and she went back to live with him to help take care of him, which is actually an admirable thing if the guy can't walk or lost his leg. Well, this happened last Sunday. I told her to contact me when she dealt with her husband. Wow, so there's another story that I've had before with a hunting accident. Well, there you go. Yes, I did. You did send her the story. Okay. We got 13 on deck, 5 likes. Does anyone else have any questions about your breakup or any situation out there that you want addressed? What's my advice? Run, don't walk away. I mean, unfortunately, talking to me and some of the other people in the live stream, we don't have feelings entangled. Okay, so it's very easy for us to go, yeah, this is one of those situations where you got to deal with an ex-husband, you got to deal with a Maria Boohoo Baba Yaga. How you doing? Great name. I think you might have been on my Instagram, so welcome. Let me know if you have any questions about your breakup or your relationship. The live stream is open. The original topic today was why won't my ex contact me? So we kind of went through some of those things. If you have a question pertaining to that, it's fine, but otherwise it's wide open. Maria Boohoo Baba Yaga. Where did that name come from? I'm just curious. So let me get back to this. So the advice for you, Philip, is look at your options. This is what I do in a live coaching session. You were together 5 years, so this is tough. You might want to unpack it in a live coaching session with myself because 5 years is a long time. So there's some things you're not sharing here that we would have to unpack and get a little deeper. And the next piece of advice I would say, are you going to be able to fix this problem, or is she willing to fix this problem of living with her husband? Do you see it as being a continued problem? What is the alternative to you going no contact? Calling this individual up regularly, or you being dignified and going, fuck, I'm not going to hit my partner up of 5 years when I say, what are you wearing? Which was a playful line that I know she wouldn't be offended by a year or 2 years ago. And now I have to deal with a peanut gallery that's her ex-husband who she lives with and them getting upset with me. So what you could do is draw a line in the sand and go, hey, look, I don't know what's going on right now. It's admirable that you're helping out your ex-husband with a hunting accident. I know you got to be there for him. I know it's a serious injury. That's you seeking to understand, not to be understood. And then you saying, but I can't deal with, I can't play second fiddle when we had a 5-year relationship. What do you see the time frame being on this? And if she can't give you one, you need to accept what's going on right now and probably go into no contact and figure out where you want to go from here. But I don't think you're going to convince her to leave the husband that had the hunting accident. I think that she looks at that as a humanitarian project. And if she's a really caring individual, That's something that she doesn't want to let go of. If you're dating an older woman, at their very least, it should be drama free. Because she's older? Why would you say an older woman would be less drama? And what would you classify as an older woman? Just older than someone's age, or a specific age would be considered older? Because I'm, coming from someone like you that's in your 20s, I'm curious, G Money. Baba Yaga, I'm here because my was friends with benefits, fell in love with somebody else, and now he's engaged after being together for 10 years. Okay, I'm a little confused. Let me read this again. I'm here because my friend was friends with benefits. So you were in a relationship that was friends with benefits, fell in love with somebody else, and now he's engaged after being together for 10 years. I'm still kind of confused. Here's the thing about friends with benefits, okay? I've had friends with benefits, and I like this scenario, and it works. Someone does end up usually getting hurt. The reason someone's friends with benefits with you is either I hope it becomes something more, or I really like this situation. It's really nice for me because I don't want a relationship right now. Or I like having intimacy and sleeping with you and hanging out, but I would never make you my girlfriend. And if what that means is down the road, I could meet someone that's girlfriend material. I never committed to you, so I won't feel obligated. Baba Yaga was an old school fortune teller. Okay. Bacon Lolicon. Ooh, someone with the name Bacon. It's a little gross. I caught my ex in a rebound relationship, but she's still trying to contact me. I caught my ex in a rebound relationship. So once you broke up, you felt like it was in their best interest, or it was still your responsibility to see who they were with. I think it's a little embarrassing that you caught them in a rebound relationship. But she's still trying to contact me. I ignored her for 30 days already, no contact and plea. What's the next move, Coach? I really miss her, so hurt. Bacon, send in your full story to Coach Mac McCarthy. I'll unpack it in a live stream in the future. That's or go to writemac.com and send it in. The minute you say, I caught my ex in a rebound, I caught them in a rebound. So you're saying they're guilty. And here's the thing. Rebound is just you framing someone getting with someone else. It doesn't idea that you somehow identify it as being a rebound, which is negative in your eyes, is not something it's not like you caught them stealing. Okay? Bacon, what do you really want? What are you willing to accept? And are you going to be able to overcome the fact that they were with someone else? Yes, too much to text. I'm in no contact now. Philip, like I said, I think you sent in your story already. If you want to go to writemac.com, book a live coaching session, my profile's on there. 5-year, when you're in 5-year relationships, I would unpack it with a breakup coach. If you don't want to work with me, that's fine. I offer a full money back guarantee. If it doesn't help you moving forward, I'll give you your money back at the end of it. If you don't find it useful and helpful, I will not cure you. I will not have the secret sauce that you could get someone back in a day, but I'll unpack the thing with you and get you some clarity. If she has a 26-year-old son, she is old. Oh, shit. Great answer. Yeah, you're right. Touche. Old people should have their lives together and be drama-free. If you're dating older women and there's drama, that's a big red flag. You know what? In a broad brush, yeah, older people give a fuck less about what other people think. There's a little less drama to them, but there's certainly some exceptions to the rule. Philip, you won't regret it, bud. If you have any trouble with the website right now because it's new, it's a completely new website, feel free to email me at coachmacmccarthy@gmail.com, and I can guide you through that. But if you're having a lot of trouble right now, the difference in a coaching session is you get a whole hour, 2 hours, and we just get to talk about your story and what happened and unpack the little things. Sometimes just asking one question or giving me a snippet, it just doesn't make it. It's totally different. The man was 70 when he got engaged, and I think he had feelings for her. Maria Bubama, I'm a little bit lost on the story. It's a little convoluted. Maybe you can explain a little better. Many people waste their lives with drama. Stopping in to say hi, Mac, and leave a like. Right on, David Jeffers. You're good people, bro. Once you break up, the other thing that's really hard for you to do is, especially if your ex changed in some way. I've dealt with this before where you're like, wow, they became a drunk, or wow, they became promiscuous, or wow, they fell for this ex-convict. I've never had that one happen to me. But and then you start judging their new relationship and who they are. And the reality is, when you start judging them in a negative way and you start getting really upset, you should be thankful that you're broken up with them and that you're free to maneuver on your own and that you're not going to settle for a bad relationship. I'm struggling. Should I stay in no contact? From what you've just told me, yes, for the time being. I don't think there's an alternative to that. You got to get your feet under you and get to a point where you're like, you got to get in touch with what you really want, what you're willing to accept, and you're not going to change the circumstances, which seem freak in the sense that this guy had a hunting accident and I believe lost his leg, if this is the same story, and she went back to help him out, which, like I said, that's a judgment call. That's a humanitarian project on her end that she feels like she needs to do for someone that she loved in the past but doesn't love now. And you're the one that gets hurt by it. And so you're not going to be able to fight this. You're not going to be able to make them the bad guys. And the fact that she's actually living with the guy, the question would be, is this temporary, or does this have a expiration date on it where she's like, look, I'm just going to stay with him for 3 months because I want to look after him? Or does this look like it's going to be long term? Was that statement where she said she shared the text with those guys, is that something out of character for her, or is that something she was offended by also? The man that I was with for 10 years was 60 when I met at the bar. Now he's 70 and engaged to somebody else. We were all friends with benefits at the time. We were all friends. Are you up? So what are you asking me, Maria Bubama? Are you asking me what I think? Are you asking me what's the question you want answered? Because, like I said, with friends with benefits, are you upset that they got engaged to someone else? Is that somehow because you were friends with benefits for 10 years? Did you think it was off limits for that person to get engaged with someone else? Did you feel misled? Because, like I said, if you're in friends with benefits, you're always susceptible to them meeting someone else or falling for someone else, even if they told you. Like some people can go, oh, they told me they never wanted to marry anyone, and they never wanted to get married, and 2 years later they got married. Well, they changed their mind. People being friends with benefits at 60 years old, damn, you people are frisky. Why not? Go for it. Long term, he picked the phone and spied on her. We talk much more sexual than that. Well, then, if that's the case, this is like I said, this is a situation where it's circumstantial, and you got to ask yourself, how long are you going to be living under that guy's roof and put yourself in the situation to be judged by them? Does this have any kind of expiration date on it? It's like, look, I'm going to live with them for another 3 months, and then I think he can get around better. Look, I'm going to live there for another year. Well, it's indefinite. Well, then you're going to have more and more problems, dude. And the thing is, if she's got a 26-year-old son and he doesn't like you, good luck. Because usually women choose their sons over their partners that aren't the dad to the son. If the son has a big problem with you, it's not going to make things smooth and easy. It's an uphill battle for a long time, dude. We're at 114. We got 12 people on deck, 6 likes. Is there any topics that you'd like me to touch on in the future? If you'd like to get your breakup story in, writemac.com, go ahead and visit that. If you want to book a live coaching session with myself, fully unpack your breakup. If it doesn't work out for you, I will refund you at the end of the talk and ask you, is it useful and helpful? And if you say no, I'll give your money back. If you have any problems with the current website or have some questions, Coach Mac McCarthy is my Gmail, and my Instagram is Coach Mac McCarthy, which is a little bit different with a lot of pictures, some anecdotes, some different questions. But I've been having fun with it, actually. Mac, has your business been busier or slower with the lockdown? Good question. Right when COVID happened, or I don't even know what that means for some people out there, because different places it touched at different times, right, G-Money? Basically, the time that it got, what was it, around like mid-March, it got really scary for the rest of the world and people were on lockdown and whatnot. I committed to doing more live streams. So I worked harder on the channel and therefore I got busier. So I think it was a product of doing more live streams. Has there been breakups as a result of the lockdown? No, I would say, like 20 or 30%, where people go, well, during the lockdown, we got really close. And then after the lockdown happened, I got to know the real them. Or during the lockdown, I couldn't stand being around them. But I wouldn't say that it got busier or slower. I think that I made more of an effort doing a live stream every single day, and then therefore got a bit busier from that reason. But I wouldn't contribute it just to the lockdowns. That's just my take. So I think that there's just breakups happening all over. But the one thing that comes up a lot, G-Money, is people would go, you make a suggestion or you make, hey, you need to go exercise, you need to do this. And then people would go, well, what about COVID? So it became this, COVID's become this valid excuse or reason that you broke up. Because a lot of times I'm like, yeah. And what that falls under is circumstances and life not being fair. But the circumstances, everyone had to deal with this. And so it fucked with a lot of people's relationships. Subject to your IG, cool pics, wish I could fish there. Yeah, the fishing's cool, man. That's the beach 5 minutes from my house. Those pictures that I'm taking at sunset, those aren't fake pictures. I'm just using my iPhone. I'm not really into photography. I actually have a former student that's been doing some pictures and some video for me because he's out of work because of COVID. And he's been doing a great job. He actually just put together a new trailer. So any of my new videos have this new trailer that I think is pretty good. So that's been good. And the videos I'm going to put up on YouTube this month are going to be videos where like I'm at the beach and whatnot. So true. It's fucked up. She contacted me once to ask if her son has contacted me. The thing is, whenever you have a relationship with someone and their sister, their brother, their kid doesn't like you and they're close to that individual, you're not going to change the situation. You're going to have to deal with it. You're gonna have to deal with it. I've had a close friend of mine that married a woman that had 4 sons and a daughter, so 5 kids overall. And I remember just like one of the kids was just milking him for money all the time. It was just this total stress case. The other one had 2 kids of their own. I said, Dave, how do you fucking do it? He goes, Mac, I'm going to heaven. And that's how you frame something to live with it. Yes, new videos are first class. I like the change. Thanks, Sabina. I appreciate it, hon. I appreciate your opinion. It's been a long time coming. I've just been getting stuff out, and now I have a little bit of a team. We're making something here different. There's going to be daily. There's going to be 5 days a week of live streams. I'm going to put a schedule up like I did for Instagram this week. I'm getting organized. The book's coming. Like I said, there's going to be more things on location. I'm going to interview people. Like I said, Jessica will be on tomorrow, and she's going to unpack her breakup. She's a 31-year-old from Canada. Has lived in Mexico, has lived in Phuket where I live, lived in Paris, and she's also lived on the East Coast some old fishing village in Canada. So she's got some life experience. And like I said, she's been on before. I think it'll be a good one. I haven't heard her full breakup, which a few times we talked about it as friends, and she almost started to cry. So I think she's ready for it though now. Trying to book a session now. Okay, Philip. Let me know if you have any trouble. Like I said, because it's a new site, we're smoothing some things out. It's not my site from before, and the site's actually being built by a programmer. It's not like a WordPress site, so it's a little different. So if you have any trouble with that right now, please let me know. You pay through Stripe. If you have trouble with the booking, please give me some feedback. And if you need to, you can email me at Coach Mac McCarthy, and then I can. If it's really tough to use the website, I can give you an invoice through PayPal and give you a separate link through email. So let me know how that works for you. I can deal with it. Don't know why she would ask that. Well, you got a lot going on here, Philip. Like I said, I'll help you navigate it. I'll give you a compass and a map and unpack it with you. And like I said, if it's been 5 years and you have a drastic change like this, sometimes you just need to talk to someone. The biggest thing is talking to someone that's objective, non-biased, and will actually listen to you for an hour, hour and a half, 2 hours, is a big difference than talking to your friends or family members and giving them a 10-minute, 5-minute thing, and they just give you some, blanket answer to have you leave them alone. So, anyone else have a question about doing a coaching session or a question about your relationship? Like I said, now I'm on for an hour, 20 minutes. So this time frame has been good for some of you. I'll make an effort to do a 7 p.m. in the future. Got some different people on that are not always on. Any closing questions? Always like to ask that, and then I'll go on for another 30 minutes. Thanks, G Money. I appreciate you, bud. Like I said, I just want to get some feedback, and I like 10:30 a.m. for me most of the time. But I thought, you know what, I'm going to make a point to do a night one at 7 p.m. and just see if this is favorable for some of the people in the other parts of the world that sometimes tell me, "Oh, I couldn't catch any of your live streams because of the timing." G Money, don't feel guilty about the fact that you're checking out other women and you're curious. Um, if you're in your early to mid 20s, honestly, not to spoil things, she probably won't be your last, dude. Is that me being negative? I'm just saying percentage wise, probably not. Um, it's hard to think that way, but I remember to be completely honest, my first relationship, my second relationship, I always thought, even though there were good ones in my 20s, in the back of my head, I always thought, like, this isn't gonna be my last girlfriend though. Like, I can't see myself getting married or this being the last person I'm ever with. And I think that just had to do with age, hormones, ego, um, my own personal values. So thank you. Look forward to talking to you. Do you think I will hear from her? It sounds like your situation, Philip, is very, very unique because you have a situation where I don't think it's your fault. I think she's in a tough bind where she feels obligated or compassionate enough to her ex that had this freak accident to help take care of him. And obviously the guy's sensitive to the fact that you're her new boyfriend and you're texting her. And as long as they live together, he's not going to be happy about that, and his son's probably not going to be happy about it. So the thing that has to come about it is, um, she has to miss you. She has to realize how good a relationship you had, and she has to make a decision on her own what's best for her as an individual. And she's only going to do that by you giving her some space. Does that make sense? I don't want to give her up because she's legitimately the first one I've ever met that shares my values. And let's just say, with my values, that's very rare. Well, then write it out, bro. One thing that I would say is that, and I didn't do this as much in some of my younger relationships. Allow yourself to do some things. Maybe you already do it. Maybe I'm wrong. Allow yourself one thing that I would say that would really help keep your attract, because it sounds like it's an attraction thing where you're swaying away from her because um, men are just attracted to multiple women. That's part of it. But create some times where you get some distance a little bit more often. Like you go on a boys trip fishing for the weekend. You do some things on your own where you actually miss each other. Have that occur. Make an effort to do that a little more often, and then spice things up. I mean, everyone says this, but like have a date night, or a night where you're doing things before they get mediocre. I'm 52, attracted to a 33-year-old work colleague. Good for you, Leandra. He confides in me about personal details of his life and told me I'm attractive. It feels so. I'm gonna say good. Well, good for you, Leandra. You're a really good person. I was really impressed by you. We did a live coaching session, and her people say like, "Oh, you never heard a breakup story like this." It was a tough one. It feels so wrong. Well, I mean, what do you want, Leandra? Do you want him as a boyfriend, or you just want to hook up? And if you're being real with yourself, listen, I don't think it's disgusting or anything like that. If he's 33-year-old man and you're 52, you're quite capable of doing that. There's plenty of 52-year-old men that are with 25-year-old women. Um, yeah, you're you're an adult. I mean, you probably wouldn't get married and have some kind of long-term relationship together. The odds would be against that. But if you guys both wanted to have fun and see what happened, go for it, hun. You know. Besides that, if that's not in your wheelhouse and you don't feel comfortable with it, don't do it. But still take the compliment, and don't feel bad about the compliment. Take it in your back pocket, and you know what you say? Thank you. I appreciate it. Whenever someone gives you a compliment that you agree with, you should just say thank you. Yeah, it's 2020. It's hardly the worst thing. You know? The amazing thing is people don't realize how intricate and different human beings are and what they're attracted to. Have you ever been just shocked when someone tells you who they're? I mean, a good friend of mine recently was, commenting on a waitress at a restaurant and whatnot that he had went to a couple days prior, or a few days prior, and we went to the same restaurant. I'm like, who? I was just like, the way he was talking about her, it was like it was fucking Cindy Crawford from the '80s or something. It was just like, she's so beautiful, she's so hot, and she's so this. And in my head, I was like, I don't even know who you're talking about. Where is she? So I mean, that's nothing personal. What's up, Clara Bell? How you been, CBK? I'm scared I'll get too close, so should I back off? Um, what is it you want, Leandra? I mean, like I said, if he's 33, you're 52, and your colleagues is number one. If you had a relationship, would it affect your work? If your job's important to you, don't mess with that. Um, if he confides about you in personal details about life and told me I'm attractive, do you feel like you guys could have something? Or are you scared of the fact that you guys could hook up, but it wouldn't mean anything? Like, I mean, so just be honest with yourself. You're a strong individual, and I'm sure you're mindful and know what's going on. You read people well, so you know what the situation is. You just got to know what you want as an individual. And one thing I will say, whenever you work with people, it's not the best people to get involved with, because if it goes wrong, then it fucks up work. You got to show up to work, and individuals are, like, you're like, oh shit, I got to see her. I mean, I've had it happen before, and it makes things awkward. So you want to go to your job. You already have problems with your job sometimes, not you as an individual, but shit happens at work. Things happen. You're unhappy with it. You don't want another obstacle that just you have to come across another person that's bitter because of the way things went down, or you wanted more and they didn't. So if there was any reason not to do it, Leandra, it would be because you work together and it would affect your job. It wouldn't be because you're scared I'll get too close. If you're scared you'll get too close, maybe you need some more time before you get into a relationship. Or you just have to tell yourself, you know what, let's just keep our expectations low and have fun. See what happens. Why do an ex come back after 1 year? I would have to know no more to the story. They're obviously they obviously spent the year looking around, hunting around, and they didn't come across anything better than you, or they've missed you the whole time and they've realized this is the chance to come back. Why do an ex come back after 1 year? It could be a variety of reasons. But the reason they came back is they're still interested in you and they find value in you and they're most likely still attracted to you. And what light do they come back? They come back because they want to date you. They come back because they want to get intimate. They come back because they want to be your boyfriend, girlfriend. They want to get married again. I mean, that can mean so many different things. The answer to it is, again, you know your partner better than I do. Someone will go, oh, I know he just wants to hook up, or I know she just wants money. So you know their playbook. The reality is they missed you. They still find value in you. They still find value in the relationship. After 8 months of dating, she broke it off. Daryl Schwanky. After 8 months of dating, she broke it off saying she was talking to other people. I let her know that's not what I wanted, but respectfully walked away. I hope to hear from her. If not, I'm still me. You are awesome, Coach Mac. Thanks for your insight and information. Well, thanks, Daryl. I appreciate those kind words, dude. Mr. Schwanky. Yeah, good one, G Money. Good to have you back, dude. Well, here would be my question, and this is something I've asked for people before. Dating, does that mean you're together, or does that mean, you know what I mean? When someone says we've been seeing each other, we're dating. Someone said this to me recently. I'm like, oh yeah, and then like we're talking. They're like my boyfriend. I'm like, wait a minute, you're dating or it's your boyfriend? To me, it's different. So why would you term it dating and not together? Does that make sense, or do you view that as the same thing? Why wouldn't you have a title to it after 8 months? I'm not saying you have to have it, but to me, if she's looking at it like you're dating, then it's more of a casual relationship to her, and that was a choice that you also made by not putting a title on it. But again, if you feel like, the good thing is she was honest. Give her points for that. Like she's like, I got to tell you the truth. I am seeing other people. And the good news is you're like, yeah, that's not something I can stand for or be around for. I'm done. We did date for 10 months and we was reconciling, but became distant and started pulling away after coming back. When we was reconciling, what was your problem in the beginning, Claire? I know you sent me your story before. I don't know if it's a different situation. Was the story, when you say you were reconciling, were you fixing the problem that was there in the beginning? It won't affect my work. I'm seriously infatuated and scared of falling in love. Infatuation is a dangerous word. I mean, if you're infatuated, I mean, is it realistic that this guy's going to fall in love with you? I mean, like I said, go for it and have fun, but that seems like pretty high expectations. And you should be going into a relationship at this point with just let's go have fun and see what happens. And if it's a bad date or it works out bad, that's just fine. But infatuation to me means that you are really, really into someone, and in most means maybe more into them than they're into you. when realistically the age difference may be too great. Yeah, he could say you're attractive, but not be attracted to you in that way. Yeah, and the age difference could be something he's not willing to overtake. And if you found that out, you wouldn't be surprised. Are there women out there that are in their early 50s that have hooked up with guys in their early 30s? Yes. Do they usually get married? No. We don't want wishy-washy people. We want people who will ride or die for us. But my question would be, Daryl, that you're agreeing to dating for 8 months, so you're leaving the door open also if you didn't ever put a title on it. Well, explore it then, Leandra. He says he feels connected to me and can't explain why. Well, explore it. It's fine. So, if you're highly attracted to him, like I said, I'll be honest with you, the odds are against you because of the age difference that you guys would end up being together for the rest of your life. Is it possible? Sure. I mean, there's a lot of things possible. But if you want to hook up and maybe see where things go, fine. But like I said, it's not going to probably be a long-term relationship. But I mean, I had a client, in his late 40s. He married his wife when I think she was 36 and he was 23. Um, they obviously ended up getting a divorce, but I thought that was a pretty big age difference. And he said he was very in love with her, and um, the last 5 years, he just said that they were done. And I'm sure the age difference, he didn't make a big deal out of it, but I'm sure it made a big difference. Well, I mean, whenever you have chemistry or connected to someone, I don't know if you can explain why, other than you have a lot of things in common. You look at things very similar. But am I wrong? What is it to be connected? It means that you share commonalities, beliefs, values, and you agree on a lot of things, or you respect the other person's opinion, and they somehow enlighten you. Sometimes, I mean, that's why. So I let her label the relationship. We were a couple, did family holidays. I guess she found someone during this time, or an ex came back. Whatever the case, she lost one amazing guy. Good for you, Daryl. I let her label the relationship. We were a couple, did family holidays. So you let her say that. So when you said you let her label it, this is weird because I always think that women are the ones, and some people say they're supposed to be the ones. Different strokes for different folks. My situations, I've always had the girlfriend wants to be girlfriend boyfriend. They don't want they want to be official. I would, in my own world, would go, we don't need that title yet, but I would feel it at the same time they feel, okay, it's now official. But I think it's a bit fishy that a woman goes 8 months and doesn't want to label you her boyfriend or partner, but you somehow say we were a couple, but you didn't classify the label, did family holidays. You know what, Daryl, then she wasn't proud enough, or she didn't think you were enough in that way. I guess she found someone during the time, or an ex came back. So you just don't know. You just think that. Whatever the case, she lost one amazing guy. Good for you, Daryl. That's the way you got to frame it, dude. What's the defining thing with the age, maturity, looks? What's the defining thing with the age, maturity, and looks? Leandra, can you elaborate on that question? I'm a little confused. It seems very broad to me. What's the defining? I'm like, I'm thinking to myself, what? If you're 20 years older and you have that kind of life experience and you're giving him a lot of time, what defines the age difference? Well, that's up to you, the individuals. That's a good question. That's between you two. I mean, he could find that, oh, I can definitely tell that you're older than me by the way you look at things. I can definitely tell the way you're older than me by the way you give advice. So that would be, thank you, who are the bomb. Thanks, Philip. He's 33. He still might want a family one day. What defines the age? That's a good G Money. Again, great to have you on. That's reality. Yeah. Um, it's just human nature that he wouldn't look at you as someone that he could have kids with because you're older. You know what I mean? So that would be one of them. Yes. Um, that would be one of them. Like I said, realistically, I would look at this as, and here's the crazy thing about this, Leandro. Let me twist this around a little bit. He has kids. Okay. Let me twist this around. If it was a man that was 52 and the woman's 33, this is more common. It is, right? It's just more common. But here's the funny thing. I would be saying the same thing. That in all likelihood, even if the guy lined up with everything the woman wanted at 33, there's a bigger percentage chance that you're going to break up down the road because of the age discrepancy. There's just too many variables there. And what I've noticed with men that have been with like the guys like 45 and the girls 25, they work out, they're attracted to each other, but then over time when they hang out with each other, it starts to come more and more to the surface that they do look at things differently. And the younger person kind of goes, wow, that I didn't know you were that old, kind of a thing. And especially for guys, this has come up numerous times. And the guys usually are like late 40s, early 50s, and they got a good job, they got a lot of confidence. They always tell me too, I look really young for my age, and so on and so on. And then they have this 25-year-old to 30-year-old woman who they find highly attractive, and they're impressed with themselves because they pulled this woman. But the reality is the woman is much more fickle. She, the minute she sees smoke, she might run because she looks at it like, well, maybe he is too old. And a lot of times what would come up was the guy would text or say something that would be totally taken out of context in the way he meant it. And the woman would erupt and be like, I can't believe you said that to me or did that to me. It would be dramatic. And he'd be like, where's this coming from? That's when age would make a difference. I never judge age, but always analyze maturity. Fucking great line, Daryl. I mean, maturity comes from what? Life experience, right? I mean, living on your own. Have you lived in a few different countries? I'm obviously talking about myself. I think those are things that add up to it. Responsibilities that you faced in your life. I date 10 or 20 years below my trips around the sun. Age has never been an issue for me. Well, good for you. So we're both mature adults, same mentality. So it looks? Well, I mean, a 52-year-old woman and a 33-year-old man is going to look different, right? I mean, right? That's just reality. Yeah, you're going to look different. And in 10 years, you're 60, and in 10 years, he's 43. Does that mean it can't work? No, that's not true. Does it mean? I mean, I bet if they're, I'm sure there's plenty of men out there that have hooked up with a woman with that age range. Yeah. Ernesto, PB's finest. Morning from SD. Thanks for the info on IG. All good in the hood, Ernesto. You're actually in PB, huh? I used to live on Grand Avenue next to the KFC down the street from the Wendy's, dude. And I lived in, I've told you this before, I think, Mission Beach on Santa Barbara Place. Great lifestyle, man. And then what was the other one? Bay Point Apartments on Ingram. There's how you know you're like, oh, you lived in PB. Good group today. Right on, G Money. You're leading the cast, buddy. Did this help anyone that it was actually put on IG? That the schedule tomorrow's gonna be a good one. Hope you can make it. Like I said, we're gonna have Jessica, 31-year-old female, unpacking her breakup. It's gonna be fun. It won't be exactly like I do a breakup coach session because every session is different. But I haven't heard all the details of her breakup. 1 hour 44 minutes. I think I did pretty well today for a 7 p.m. shift. 8:45. Yes, sir. This is gonna be good. Especially Fridays. It was so funny. I was talking to someone from PB and I was like, Fred's? They're like, Fred's isn't there anymore. And then Moondoggies, is Moondoggies still there? Or PB Bar and Grill? Moondoggies used to have Thursday you call it's for $2. The catch was it was in these little plastic cups. Uh, I bet they still have the Beachcomber over there in PB. I think the local one I used to go to was called the Sandbar. That was close to my place in Mission Beach. I've been told I look 45. You decide. You've seen me. My mom looks 60 at 73. That's got to go in my favor. Well, go for you, hon. Go for you. I mean, if the guy said he's interested, right? Yeah, I mean, you look younger than 52. I mean, I'm 39. I've had people tell me I look younger. I've had people tell me I look older. I've had people tell me I look my age. I was joking around. I was talking to this woman near where I live. We were talking for a little bit back and forth. And she says, "How old are you?" I go, 60. She goes, "Really?" And she goes, "Really?" And I said, "Yeah." She's like, I said, "Why? How old did you think I was?" She goes, "Like 38." And then I waited a minute, talked about something. I was like, "Did you really think I was 60?" She's like, "Yeah, my sister tells me all the time that I believe everything everyone says." I'm like, okay. Bottom line is, um, with age and things like that, when you feel good, you look good. Does that make sense? I know that when I'm eating healthier, I'm going to the gym. I just had my first session back in hot yoga today, which was outstanding. I haven't done Bikram hot yoga in a while. I'm gonna get back into that. Um, and I got a personal trainer about a month and a half ago, and you will look better when you feel better. And hence the reason if you wake up with a bad hangover and you look in the mirror and you're like, I fucking look like shit, but you feel like shit. Southern Colorado is littered with women who don't know how to be monogamous. You truly don't lose a relationship. You just lose your turn. Daryl, I'm going to give you one for the cheap seats right here. Write this down. Move. Change your environment. Oh, I can't. I love Southern Colorado. Well, if that's one of the things about Southern Colorado and you think that's absolutely true, why not change your environment? Because life's too short to be fishing in a hole like that. I've dated some great younger women. The problem comes in the age when you talk about things like Brady Bunch reference. Yeah, there's things that'll come up, and then all of a sudden, it's like it's like you said that they overreact or they get dramatic, and younger women, with an older guy, they'll just react different to things, and they'll drop well, you're just so old, and I don't care who you are, but the guy will have some insecurities in most situations because he knows that the woman's younger and she's going to just get more attention. Okay. But if you're a guy that is able to hold his own and get his own amount of attention, and that's what's interesting. Like I said, women want to be with guys that other women like or want to hook up with. PB Bar and Grill is there, but now called Mavericks. Really? I haven't been. Yeah, I was back in PB about 4 or 5 years ago for a bachelor party, and I was absolutely shocked how much it changed. But keep in mind, this is me showing my age, Leandra. I'm 39. I lived in PB 20 years ago. I moved there at 19, so 20 years ago. That's amazing. 20 years ago, so like 18, 17 years ago. I mean, the places on the beach changed everything. I mean, I remember we could have beers on the beach. It was pretty cool. I feel good. Today's gym reopened. Outstanding. Hot yoga. That's a thumbs up. Yeah, it was great. I'm gonna get back into it. Cheap seats are paying off. Maybe, dude, move. If I can give you some golden piece of advice, and if you feel so, all the, and I'm not talking about all the women are here. It's actually true. Here's what's really interesting. I was just talking to someone today. If you've moved or lived in different areas of the world or different cities of where you've been, the interesting thing is every city, and actually, if you live in a big city, like I think G Money's from Cincinnati. I've never been to Cincinnati, but that would qualify as a major city. Got a baseball team and a football team, at least, whatever that means. But you know what I mean. So, like San Francisco, every 10 blocks there's a different subculture. There's a surf culture. There's in the financial districts, there's a subculture of people wearing suits and going after money. So these subcultures, you live in them. Now, where you grow up, you don't really have a choice. Like your parents, put down roots there, or if you don't have parents or you had someone else raise you or what have you. But when you get older, you can start going, I want to live there because that's where a lot of people make money. Like I grew up in the Silicon Valley before it was ever called the Silicon Valley. It was just the Bay Area, right? Okay. People come there by the droves to make money. They don't come there to meet the love of their life or anything like that. And a lot of them make money because there's more opportunity there to make money. Why do you move to Wall Street? If you're looking to meet, women in their 20s, go move down to San Diego because they have 4 major colleges. It's a beautiful place to live, and it attracts a lot of young people. Am I right, Ernesto, who's on here right now and lives there? I mean, my niece who's 25, she just went there for a visit from Northern California. She's like, damn, I got to move down there. It's cracking. It's going off. I mean, it's a place where there's a lot of young people because of the universities and the weather. That's a favorable place to live. Oh, I could never move there. Then don't. But going around and telling people, where I live just doesn't allow me a lot of options, then move. Mac, you're a young buck. Well, I'll take that as a compliment. Maybe I just need to let go and enjoy him. After all, it's been 14 years with one man. Have some fun. I don't have a problem with it. I'm not judging you. Yeah, just don't be attached to being together long term. This isn't something that you're going to chase to be in a long-term relationship. And if you've been in a relationship for 14 years, do you really want to get into another one right now? Have some fun. Travis Eversole. There's more women than you can shake a stick where I live in Tampa, Florida. Then you can shake a stick? I've never heard that comparison. Good for you, Travis. Never been to Tampa. Heard good things about Florida. I've never been there. People I meet from there seem pretty cool. I mean, this is one of those things that if you're complaining about your environment, move. Why does my most recent ex reach out every couple months with meaningless text to get attention? I never initiate contact, but never ignore her either. Try ignoring her. Do I tell her to stop since my emotions are charged afterwards? If your emotions are charged afterwards, you're in a negative place and she's with someone else, I would just completely block her and take her power away. All right, folks, we're at 2 hours. I'm starting to get a bit parched here. This has been a pleasure. It's been great. Like I said, 10:30 Indochina tomorrow. We'll have a female on talking about her breakup that's 31 years old from Canada. And then Saturday and Sunday will be 10:30 a.m. Indochina time, unpacking breakup. So please come on. I was born and raised in SD. It's the best place to live. Honestly, everyone is so chill and always out and about. So easy to get dates and just hang out. Everyone is open to mingle. I'd have to agree. My time in San Diego was outstanding, tremendous, and I thought to myself, if I did move back, that's a place I'd like to live. The weather is outstanding. The people are cool. Uh, Definitely two thumbs up. The last time I was there, I did feel a bit older because I was in my mid 30s, where when I was in my 20s in PB, that was, certain places fit you at different times in your life. But I would agree, Ernesto, you're in a good place, bro. And if you like San Diego, come out to Phuket, Thailand sometimes. I meet a lot of people out here from San Diego that move here too. It just rips you apart when you do the right thing and still get punted on third down. Don't be a victim, Daryl. Not needy, focused on my purses. Handy fun, still not good enough. Handy fun? I'm not even going to go there. More than you can shake a stick is an old saying that means a lot. I believe you. I just never heard that one before, Travis. All right, folks. Thanks for having you on. Hope to catch you guys in the next live stream. Go to my Instagram, Coach Mac McCarthy. If you guys want to email me, coachmacmccarthy@gmail, one word, and writemac.com if you want to book a live coaching session. All good, Leandra. Go for it. Clarabelle, I didn't know you were still on, but thank you. It's curtains.